This is Michelle Greenman, Women's Wellness Coach, and this is MGTV. And this week's video is going to be about psoriasis. Now, I actually have a blog post on psoriasis where I'm going to give way more information, but I was amazed at some of the facts that I found out about psoriasis. So psoriasis is actually a disease of the skin where the skin gets red and scaly and it actually overgrows. It can be anything from mild and like little patches to completely overgrowing. I keep looking at my arm because those are the pictures that are in my mind, and being really debilitating. Now, if you are overweight, psoriasis is something that you are far more likely to get because it often can happen in the folds of your skin. If you're causing any type of trauma to your skin, and if you are getting sick with other things as well, which is also closely related, or stressed. So one of the things that I was amazed to learn about psoriasis is that any type of skin trauma can really affect it or make it worse. And I think a lot of the people out there don't recognize this. But skin trauma can include chemical trauma to the skin. There are tons of products out there that you are probably buying from the store that is hurting your skin. On my path to health, one of the things that I started to learn is that the majority of products in the stores were horrible for my skin. They included ingredients like sodium lauryl sulfate, propylene glycol, a lot of ethyls, right? And they were actually making my skin drier and toxifying my body. And so if you are using some of these chemicals on your skin, I like to call them drugs on your skin, you can actually be setting yourself up for psoriasis. Definitely stress is connected, and more importantly is the immune system. So our skin is one of our biggest organs on our body, and when we have things happening in our body, it often shows up in our skin. And so if our liver isn't working well, if we have a lot of toxins, our skin is going to show it. So the fact that psoriasis is a skin disease shows that our immune system is compromised. Now, if your immune system is compromised, not only are you going to have problems with psoriasis or other skin disorders, but you are also going to be open to things like pneumonia, colds and flus, strep throat, and cancer. Cancer is actually an immune problem. And so if you are having cells in your body that are cancerous, your immune system is really what takes care of it. You might have heard that everybody has some cancer cells. Cancer cells are just cells that aren't working properly. They overgrow as opposed to do their other job. So if your immune system isn't working well, you're going to open that door for those cancer cells to flourish in. A lot of the times when it comes to our cancer cells over-flourishing or our immune system being low, it really stems from nutrition. And a lot of the health things that I teach are not included in nutrition. Nutrition is only 1/7 of the program that I teach. But when it comes to immune system, what you put into your mouth makes a huge difference. Now, there are definitely some foods that help with nutrition, but more likely you are putting things in your mouth that should not be considered food and that are hurting your body. And I'm going to tell you the number one thing that you are probably putting in your mouth that is hurting your body are animal products, and most likely is dairy. Now, dairy comes in a couple forms, and I do usually include eggs in dairy. But dairy, especially in the form of cheese, is devastating for your stomach. Now, cheese, and try to follow me here with this. Cheese is made by letting the bacteria eat the different parts that are there in the milk so that it curdles and leaving what's left for us to eat. The bacteria in our stomach would be eating those parts. So after the bacteria that they've allowed to eat the cheese eats the cheese, what's left is things that your body cannot digest, okay? And so that's why cheese is really filling, because our stomach usually closes up because it doesn't know what to do with the cheese and it has to figure out how to process it. Now, if you're eating cheese or a lot of dairy, that's definitely where I would start when it comes to changing your diet, is to really look at how much dairy that you're eating. Dairy can come in lots and lots of products that you might be consuming. I've seen it in bread, crackers, cookies, obviously, shakes, supplements, tons and tons and tons and tons of things. And so you're probably getting a daily dose. So if you'd really like to make a change, a couple things that I would suggest. Number one, stop drinking milk. Drink some other type of milk other than dairy milk. Almond milk, rice milk, soy milk if you can get it organically, but there's hemp milk out there, there's oat milk, and you can make it yourself in your own kitchen. Allowing yourself to have some other alternatives as far as dairy milk would definitely be a good place to go. There's options for cheese. You can make your own cheese. There's lots of recipes. There's raw cheeses that you can make. Usually the basis for cheese is cashew nuts. And there's even store brands of cheese that you can buy that do not have milk. Now, when you're buying store-bought, like soy cheese for example, usually they will have whey or casein, and those are often types of milk. Lactose is the sugar that comes from milk, and so you want to avoid these things as well. So I actually did an article on cirrhosis. Please check that out if you suffer from it or someone you know suffers from it. It gives you a little more hints on what to do to change it. Changing what you eat being only one of them. I think there's actually 4 things that I teach on how to change it. But it's completely something that you can rein in and put into remission. If you don't, really, your body's telling you that there's something wrong, and it leads you open to quite a few other diseases. Metabolic disease, like I already mentioned, cancer, cold and flus, and lots of other things that really have to do with your immune system. Even diabetes is something that's connected. So I encourage you is to take action. Don't just let things happen because it's a little patch of skin that seems to not be working well. Your body is telling you something and you need to listen to it. I encourage you to actually leave a comment and tell me how it goes, and I will be so excited to hear of all the things that you guys are able to accomplish by just doing this one little step. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we will see you again.